My name is Nadav Yair. I came to Israel in '82 from Hawaii. In '82, I was not a Jew. A year later, I converted to Judaism, and I've been a religious Jew ever since. Got into the army in '85. I was in the Special Forces of Golani, which is called the Sayeret Golani. And from '85 till now it's 2023, and I'm still training soldiers, warriors in the army in Fieldcraft, everything that has to do with Fieldcraft, camouflage, stealth, and it's very, very, very mandatory part of the Akshara, which is called preparing a soldier for warfare. And three of the things that comprise making a warrior ready for warfare is what's called kosher gufani, which is physical fitness, and that he's able to shoot, which is knows how to shoot well with his gun, and fieldcraft. So my forte is fieldcraft, and I've been training the IDF since '85, like I said, and everything was in preparation for war. And we've had a lot of incidents, since I was in the army, and a lot of missions, and a lot of missions accomplished and successfully. And we were in the Lebanon War and all of these other incursions, but nothing like today. I have 6 children, 5 boys and 1 girl, and 4 of my sons are in the army. And my youngest son just came back from Hawaii. He heard about the war starting on Saturday. Sunday, he already booked a flight and was on a plane. And Monday, I picked him up at the airport. An hour after I picked him up, he was already in the army. And so all my sons are just as ready as I am. I haven't heard it compared to anything, but what I do think that it is similar to, it's the massacre in My Lai in Vietnam, and that was a massacre. This was a massacre against a people, the Jews, just because of the fact that they're Jews. The ironic part about it is that it was done against Jews that believed that they could live side by side with Arabs. And parties were done very close to the border, which is amazing, is how the Arabs knew all of this information. They had gotten the information from within. They were prepared, they have been preparing, and they've gotten all of their money or whatever, their funds from whoever's backing them. Apparently that's Iran. And yeah, they got us. But it's just the beginning.
Is this something that you could have ever expected living here?
Oh yeah, it's something that I know that we had to be prepared for years already. It's called the Day of Reckoning, and it's here. When people normally hear the Day of Reckoning, they think of innocent Jews. They think of the day of Yom Kippur, that it's a day of reckoning and how to stand before God, etc., in regards to all of their sins that they may have done in the past year. But the Day of Reckoning is the day where Jews have to fight for their lives, and it's a war against God. It's the war against God. And we as the chosen people have been chosen to fight that war. And now we're here. So you ask if I'm afraid or angry. I'm neither, because I've learned as a warrior you have to keep your emotions in check. You have to prepare for war like you should prepare for war and execute the missions as missions should be executed without emotion. It's sad that a lot of our people were massacred in that way, and a lot of our children, and how we always say that there's a meaning behind everything and God has a plan, and it's hard to fathom what that plan is, but everything that has happened in the past week, it's definitely a wake-up call for all of the people of Israel. 13 years I've been on this hilltop and I haven't had a gun, and I'm not into self-defense. I'm into active defense. Now that the Army gave out guns to the whole community that we have up here, and they decided that I should have one as well, because where I sit on the hilltop that I sit at, I'm responsible for the back door of the community. So I have to give the response that may be necessary, and it may be from a distance and not from close encounters of the best kind, but from a distance. And so nothing better I was going to say nothing better than M16, but there is. I would prefer to have, a negative or something equivalent, but an M16 will do fine. Well, how is it that I can have a semi-automatic and most other citizens can have a handgun? It's not particularly true. Anybody that is done the Army and is in what's called a Kita Konanut, which is a group that is made up of every community, and their job is to protect that community. And so this small group of every community, which is about 16 people, they all have long M16s. Other soldiers, of course, then when they're in the Army, they also have M16s. They go home with their rifles or the Tavor or whatever it may be. So we do, but a handgun is also handy. You have to make every bullet count. That's for one thing. These guys were obviously prepared. Some of them died as well. The terrorists were also shot. It wasn't like it was a clean mission for them. But even if I only have, 5 magazines, that's a good start. And if I run out of ammo, I'll be able to get to one of them that I got killed, and I'll be able to use their ammo and their weapon as well. But as many terrorists that are in the field, that's a lot more ammunition for me.
Gave us a story. You once chased a couple guys with a machete, a hatchet, I think, and you didn't have a gun at the time. So now that we have this full-blown war, are you concerned now more about your safety now that things have changed? Just repeat the question.
The question is if I'm concerned about my safety. I think my Arab neighbors are more concerned about their safety because they know who I am, and they know my background, and they know not to come up to my area where I live because of their safety. And now that we're in a state of war, and I'm sure they're assuming that I have a rifle now, so they're keeping at a further distance. I can't say that all Arabs want the death of all Jews, but I know that I live amongst Arabs, and I know that when massacres like this have happened and anything that even smaller events that have happened, the Arabs behind me right now and on the side of me, they put up their fireworks and they hand out candy in the villages to other people in regards to their fanatic success. So it is just a matter of us having to deal with our enemies when they raise their heads. If this is compared to 9/11, if things are going to change now in this country, things will always be looked at in a different light now. 9/11 was done against an enemy against the people. We all know the conspiracies that are behind that, and it may be an inside job, or there's an endless. But here, what happened against the Jewish people from Hamas, there was no inside job. There is no conspiracies. It just was, and it will show us. And every time we try to go back to the way we were, even the most leftist of people who thought that we could live with Arabs, and I'm talking about the families that were living in the communities that got slaughtered, they also want revenge, and they know that it'll never be the same. A month ago, even less, maybe a month ago is probably the first time I heard, when we had all of these demonstrations, that there was a sign that was put up in Tel Aviv that we are no longer brothers. And that was because of the conflict, the political conflict between the left and the right, et cetera, et cetera. But it has no consequence. It has no, basis for how we are today. We all know that we are brothers, and we all have each other's backs, and nothing will divide the people of Israel. And we're ready. Because of war, if we're more united as a nation, that is exactly what the Jewish people are made out of. When their backs are up against the wall, we are all united. It's a nation that is unlike any other nation. It's an element within their soul that binds everybody together and makes us as one. Doesn't matter how divided we could be before that, even 5 minutes before that, we may be as divided from one end of the spectrum to the other. But once war comes in, the enemy just definitely underrates who the Jewish people are, because we will come together within a second and we will survive.
That's true during war, but how about before the war? Look at what was going on here. It was almost like a civil war in this country. How do we solve that? That's what I want to know.
How do we solve a civil war? You don't. There will be conflicts within our political realms. It's what a democracy is. And then you can have the people who want to overthrow democracy in the name of democracy. And that is what it is. But, it's God has a sense of humor sometimes in regards to politics. Don't take pictures of my laundry, my dirty laundry. At least it's all clean now. Since Trump came into office, we heard the saying, fake news, and the news that has been coming out and that's been reported and everything that has happened in down south on the right side outside of Gaza, where they say no children have been slaughtered or beheaded and everything is a lie. You know, where are the pictures? Where's the proof? This kind of denial and statements that are said, I don't even want to call it propaganda, but it's just plain statements that is done out of either ignorance or evil deceit. But slowly but surely, it is coming out that the Hamas did do these heinous crimes, and they're claiming that they were not citizens, they were occupiers, and it's like goes on down history as to why they have a reason for doing such a thing. But these massacres and the people who committed these massacres, these terrorists, between the ages of 20 and 30, where they were 15 years ago. These terrorists 15 years ago were just children themselves. And these children were used as shields to protect hospitals so that the Air Force won't bomb these hospitals. They were innocent children. But these innocent children that were standing there guarding their hospitals against the Air Force, Israeli Air Force, they saw the destruction that was done, and the neighborhoods right outside past those hospitals, those buildings that got demolished, and their friends that got killed. And these little kids were raised with a hate and a desire for revenge. And what we have is the result of these children being brought up that way. But it's also a result of an army that attacked them that were humane and had responsibility as to what the other civilians might go through. And this Israeli army, the IDF, and all of their decisions to not bomb these places because of the fact that there's children there, this is what created the terrorists. And it's true to have an army and the right to have an army that has a conscience, but there are prices for everything. And for us now, we have to understand that us as a Jewish nation, that when we are up against something, we have to prevent the terrorists of tomorrow. And those are the children that are out there today. Anybody who wants to live in this country together with the people of Israel and not against, you're welcome. We are not a people here to, annihilate other people. We are people here to want to live in our land in peace. And if you want to live in peace, now is your time to take that stand and declare Israel as the, nation amongst all of the Arab nations in the land of Israel. And you as an Arab that live in whatever villages that are within the boundaries of Israel are willing to live with us, fine. If you're not, then que sera, sera.